story tonight. 4 women creating a podcast? What the fuck? I'm Megan, and welcome to the end of Always Said That podcast. Tonight's top stories.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Nikki.
I'm JoJo.
Tonight's top story.
Yeah.
You have the notes in front of you.
Tonight's top stories coming to you live at 7 o'clock. Our friendship lore. You want to find out how we all met? Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to see the Jonas Brothers, ? Not clickbait.
Coming up at 8 o'clock.
Stay tuned till the end for a big surprise and some fun and exciting news.
You're going to want to stick around.
That's all, folks.
And you're going to want to stick around, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Editing Nikki here to tell you to check out our friend Aaron and Lucas's podcast, Just One Fern. We were on their latest episode, and it was so much fun talking about music, talking about hot takes, and just shooting the shit. We hope you enjoy. Welcome back.
How the hell are you?
We took a week off.
Oh, we did?
Our first week off.
It was awesome.
Did you guys miss us? We missed you.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels a little weird to be back in the swing of things again.
Back in the stew.
Back in the
thick of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we took a little bit of time off for everyone was kind of doing their own thing for Easter. And it was nice because now we have like a big chunk of stuff to talk about. And we also are on episode 10, guys.
All right.
And we thought
Watch
it would
the
be
nose.
fun. We thought it would be fun to do a little theme because we have so many fun themes planned, but most of them are going to take a little planning. So
And
for
we
this,
needed one that took no planning
we
on this
took-
lovely Thursday evening.
yeah,
Yeah.
we decided to all wear our PJs and do cute
On quite
little,
literally one of the hottest days
It is almost 90 degrees out.
Yeah.
in April.
I'm wearing a fuzzy robe.
And we are currently sitting in chairs, blankets on, giving the grandparents from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in our Grandpa Joe era. But would everyone like
Yeah.
to do a quick fit check?
Sure.
Like standing up.
No, you could just like...
We
okay,
can't
'cause we're all
stand up
kind
with
of
the
in funny
mics.
shirts. Just
Yeah.
to kind of explain it for the audio
But
listener.
we all are in kind of funny. Are you in a funny shirt?
Mine says hard to forget on the back,
Oh,
which
yes, you did just say that.
I made it like a little joke because I make it a joke all the time that I'm very forgettable. Not like
Joke.
I think it, but people will come up to me and be like, have we met? I'm like, we've met multiple times.
See, that's crazy because I feel like you're one of the least forgettable people
Yeah.
I've literally ever met.
Thanks. But yeah, it happens more than you think.
Maybe you're hanging out with the wrong people.
Well,
True.
I'll
I've been
come
saying
up.
that for years.
Yeah. It's
And I've always said that.
and I've always said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like people will come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh my God, Cinderella, do you know Joe?" And I'm like, "That's my dad." And they're like, "Oh my God, Uncle Joe's your dad?" And
You've met me 5 times.
I'm like,
We're neighbors.
If you don't know me, but you know my dad and you call him Uncle Joe, you should probably know who I am. Like, maybe don't call him Uncle Joe then. I've redacted
Yeah.
people's Uncle Joe privileges. So
As
yeah,
you should.
that's where my shirt came from. I thought it was funny.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, I am wearing, like said, a leopard robe. Absolutely boiling right now, but had to commit to the theme because I do live with JoJo, and she sees me in my pajamas and probably can confirm that if I'm not in my work clothes, I am in this robe.
Yep.
It is glued to my body. But I will say underneath, I have a fun little surprise. This shirt that Megan got for me. Does anyone remember this?
That shirt was hot during
Who-
the pandemic.
Who remembers? Summer of 2020, who remembers? Anyone
We'll
out there
insert a photo of
remembering?
it.
Show yourself.
Anyone out there remembering? The people who know will know just from the colors, but I will insert a photo of the shirt that, was heard around the world.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everyone here pretty much knows I'm a Diet Coke stan. Unfortunately, my actual Diet Coke shirt is back at home at my parents', so wearing a Coca-Cola shirt for you today. I live in this thing. Once again, Nikki lives with me. If I'm not in my work clothes, I'm in my PJs.
Yeah.
I had actually one of my roommates freshman year. I came back from class, And I got in my room and I changed, and she turned around and went, "You've been here 30 seconds. How are you already in your PJs?"
That's a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be in your outside clothes and like
Why not be comfy?
Yeah, that are uncomfortable. Grow up.
Get comfortable with us.
Thinking about you yelling at me for being in my train pants on my bed 2 weeks ago.
Because who would want to do that?
I was trying to get us more viewers on our TikTok live by pretending to be asleep.
Speaking of TikTok live, we are live right now. We go live every time we film, so go over and say hi.
Most Sundays, sometimes Thursday nights.
Yeah, come join us. Come leave a nice comment, please.
Only nice comments are
Pretty
Yeah.
please.
Yes.
Yep.
You will be filtered out and or blocked if otherwise.
We only accept good criticisms and
It's
comments.
a safe space in our TikTok live.
It is.
It
We're
is a
just
safe
trying to
space.
make it wholesome and fun, and we
Some
are
people are
still
freaks.
cultivating that space. So if
Yeah.
you're
If you can be anything, be nice.
and if you're wholesome and fun, come join us. We'd love to have you. Anyways,
My shirt, I got at a tourist shop in Nashville. Nowhere on it does it say it's from Nashville, which I kind of love about it. On the front, it says, "Ask me about my nuts." And on the back, it's a squirrel, and it says, "These nuts."
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do
I
what
mean,
you will
that
with
is, like,
information. I love this shirt.
Very
Almo-
Meghan of you.
It's almost Shakespearean, I will say.
It was between this shirt and a shirt that had a wiener dog on it, and it said, "Remember to wash your wiener."
Oh my God, Joe, the wiener dog that we saw.
It was crazy.
Was it fat?
Wait, when was that?
It was last night.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was just the shortest.
Shortest little
McShorty.
tiniest thing I've ever. It almost looked like a cartoon.
It literally looked like it was like floating on the ground because
It
its
was
legs
probably this length.
its legs were so tiny.
Imagine if this thing was stiff and I could like
I feel like I've never seen
horizontally.
For the audio listener, it's a sensory string.
Yes. I feel like I've never seen like a puppy wiener dog, but he was like had to have been young. His coat
Yeah.
was perfectly golden and he was just so teeny.
Well, there was also a black one too that we saw.
You're right. We saw two. What a
There's
treat.
two weenies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one better than the
Pair of
next.
wieners.
Yeah.
Pair of weenies.
Yeah. So, yeah, pair of wieners.
Pair of wieners.
Moving right along. So, as mentioned, we thought it would be fun for our sleepover episode to give you guys the full lore of how we all met because we know you guys are just dying to know. With that, who would like to kick it off? Well, actually,
Well, chronologically.
yeah, we'll give you it in chronological order.
So I was scrolling through the FIT roommate Facebook group and I saw Meghan and I was like, oh, she looks fun. So I DM'd her on Instagram and it was
history.
it was the weirdest conversation. Like we found it recently and we were reading it back and I was like, how did you ever be friends
I
with me?
straight up lied to you. I said two of my favorite shows were Gilmore Girls and Shameless, two shows I have never seen.
Well, you also have to include the first time you guys hung out.
So then we decided that we would be roommates.
You're not skipping past this story.
No, but we did decide to be roommates.
I decided to be roommates.
And then we were like, oh, we live so close to each other. We
Let's
should
meet up.
meet.
So me and Taylor met at an outlet mall
Mm-hmm.
that had a
You
movie
met at
theater.
the outlets?
Yeah, because it had a movie theater. Because we
Okay.
were going to the movies. We were going to see Spider-Man Homecoming, which I had already seen, but it was Taylor's idea. So I was like, you know what?
You lied again.
I lied again. It was
She loves lying.
Yeah.
lying.
She does
So we went there, and I don't know who said, but we were like, okay, we'll meet at the Chipotle. Perfect, great, whatever. We get there. I have not eaten due to the fact that we're meeting at the Chipotle. It's about an hour before our movie. Why else would we meet at the Chipotle if not to eat dinner? So we get there, and I go to tell her, I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Meghan. Nice to meet you. It's so fun to finally see you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm going to get a bowl. Like, let's go in. You're like, I actually already ate. I'm not hungry. So then I got a bowl of Chipotle, and Taylor just sat there because we didn't have anything to talk about because we're
I know.
strangers. And Taylor sat there, watched me house my Chipotle bowl before the movies. And me and Taylor go to the movies a lot. Well, we haven't gone a lot recently. But we love snacks at the movies. We love getting a drink. We love getting popcorn. We love sneaking in candy.
We bring...
You name it, we're eating it at the movies. Mm-hmm. We didn't get one single snack at this movie. Me and Taylor sat there.
You had just eaten dinner, and so did Taylor.
The spirits were...
Taking you?
The spirits take me.
That's how we were sitting. And we did not speak the entire time. Like,
and then we left and we said goodbye, and then we both parked in the same parking lot.
Like literally right next to each other.
Oh, it was like, it's so nice meeting you. Can't wait to see you again in August. We made no plans to see each other again. That's how awkward the first time meeting was.
That is
and
crazy.
you still became roommates.
Yeah, that's the thing is like,
and we've been roommates for what?
Yeah, 6 years
now.
Wow. I remember driving home and I called my mom and I was like, that went amazing. I was like, I could see it now. We're gonna be friends.
Oh you weren't wrong, but I wouldn't call that amazing looking back now.
Looking back now, that's not who we are.
If I went on a date and it went like that, I would never speak to them again.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
But also I feel like I've changed a lot since then. Like I was very in my shell, like high school still.
Yeah, well you guys grew together.
Yeah.
We got to become adults with each other.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of sweet.
So that's kind of how me and Meg met.
So who's next in the chronological order of meeting?
Well,
me and Meghan.
No, well, when did you go on your study abroad? Was it
sophomore year?
The summer after sophomore year.
2019, summer 2019.
So we actually all met before then because we had a class.
So I like
AMC together.
Oh my God. So I met you, but that wasn't when we became friends yet. So I met JoJo in a class that we had together, and I like didn't know anyone in the class, but Joe was part of like not like a friend group, but like you were close with.
I knew someone who, when I was in the advertising and marketing program, we just had all of our classes together. So like the one person you see every single class who is like, for as long as you're in this major, we're friends.
Yeah, you're texting about assignments.
Yes, and you see each other every day basically because you're in the same classes.
Yeah.
And this person had a friend group who she introduced me to. I wasn't like directly part of it, but I was like adjacent to it.
Like there was a friend group in the class who I somehow ended up being adjacent to. Like, oh no, it was okay. Doesn't matter. Never mind. Not giving this girl any clout.
Not getting lost in the details.
Yeah, literally can't. She doesn't deserve it. So I knew a girl through something else at FIT who then brought me into the friend group where JoJo was adjacent of. And I fucking was so annoyed with you.
I don't understand why, because I simply just existed.
You understand why.
I don't. You just hate smart people.
No, because Joe got into our CFM program before I did.
I can't help that.
Yeah, well, I was mad. Rightfully so. I mean, I wasn't like, I'm going to kill her. It was like, it must be nice to be her right now. Like,
You're such
have
a
fun with her, Ryan. Like, I was just really upset that you were, like, talking about it to everyone. And I was like, okay, I'm, like, like.
Oh, I know why. It's because I was a presidential scholar. I got my decision early, like, of the earliest bunch.
Yeah,
and most
so
people
I
got
was,
theirs
like.
a week later.
So I was upset because you were talking about it.
Well, because this person asked me, did you get in?
And you were talking about it. And I was really upset. So I was like, all right, this is like, I've got to get away from her.
It's funny about when we did Would We Be Friends in high school, and JoJo, you just said, absolutely not. That was it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We had this thing where we said, would we be friends in high school? And Nikki wrote down, for me, absolutely not. No explanation.
We wouldn't.
Because you hate. Oh, God.
But yeah, so I wasn't a big fan of JoJo when we first met. That was like sophomore year.
Funny, because I loved you.
Well, it's good to be me.
Enemies to lovers.
Enemies to roommates.
It was enemies to roommates, but one-sided the entire time.
I like the way you had one-sided beef with me.
I really did. And it's so funny that, we can be so candid about it because look what came from it.
I don't care. I see you every day.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's how JoJo and I initially met, and we had like seen each other here and there, but like didn't have your phone number. We didn't talk that summer.
Maybe
like,
we were put in like a rogue assignment group chat once, but we never hung out. It was very
that
much
was
like
our only class.
like wave to each other. Maybe if we had eye contact, if I walked, we
Yeah.
walked into the classroom at the same time.
And then from there I did join the club for our bachelor's program, which you were also in. So like we knew each other.
Yes,
But I was making no attempts to be your friend. Sophomore year.
Funny how things work out. And then I think sophomore year I had a class with
We had the
you.
class with the professor with the chili pepper who's giving us.
Oh, no.
That was freshman year.
no,
that was
That was
sophomore.
sophomore year.
freshman year.
Yeah,
But-
I had him with you freshman year.
So
We had a sophomore year.
we actually had publicity workshop together. Remember her?
No, because I was in publicity
I
with
don't
Megan.
even remember that
No,
class.
I was in with her because I distinctly I don't know why I remember you specifically.
No, we had it with Linda.
No,
No,
I had it with
no, you had
Megan and
Elizabeth-
Taylor.
no.
That was PR.
No, there was two different. There were two different ones. There was the one you take your first year,
Which was
No, this was our sophomore year. We took.
or no, I remember Megan was in my class because I remember. No, because
Well,
I
then
remember
all four of
seeing-
us were in the same class.
Because I remember, I think, seeing the H in your name, and I was like, I've never met anyone named Megan who has an H in their name.
What day? I
don't.
don't.
It
I don't
was
know the name
Mondays
of any
and
classes 'cause we
Wednesdays.
took it Mondays and Wednesdays, but I don't even know if this was publicity workshop or not.
No, I don't think.
No, our class was because remember,
The fencers.
yeah, and our friend at the time was also in that class.
I remember that.
And I
Yeah.
remember we weren't like super close yet. We had known about each other, but there was like one day where you had like went home to Long Island to get Halloween costumes for you and Taylor because the two of you guys.
that?
Yes, because the two of you guys sat in front of me, and I remember like I would always chit chat with you before class, but I didn't really. You never talked to me. Like you wouldn't really say much. But so Megan wasn't there one day, and I was like, "Where's Megan?" And you were like, "Oh, she went back to Long Island because she accidentally shipped Halloween costumes to her house,
I went to Long Island for one singular hour.
and then they weren't there,
I
right?"
went there, so then I had to come to class. No Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
It was Halloween too.
Yeah,
It was Halloween that day.
it
We
was
were going to
Halloween.
the West Village Parade.
Yeah, we had gotten shirts with skeletons on them, and I accidentally shipped them to my house instead of the dorms.
You were a skeleton?
No, we weren't. Because
Yeah.
we didn't have the shirts.
Oh, sorry.
Halloween 2018 was the fourth worst day of my life. So that's interesting.
I don't remember Halloween 2018.
Is it
I
because I
do.
wasn't in class that one day?
Mhm.
Until I wasn't.
And I was
like
forced to talk to Taylor.
When Nikki has one-sided beef with half this podcast.
I remember
Well,
that
we-
because we walked home from class that one day. Do you remember?
Uh-uh.
I was so nervous talking to you. I was
Really?
Like, does she want to be my friend?
What were we talking about?
I don't even know. I was so nervous because I was like, oh, I don't know what to say next. I get really
don't
anxious when I'm
remember.
talking to new people, like how to
Yeah.
keep the conversation going. So the entire time we walked from FIT to Kaufman, we talked about being picky eaters. I remember that. But the
Yeah.
entire time I was like, what can I say next? What can I say next?
I don't
How
remember
can I keep
this.
these good vibes going?
I remember you in your Halloween costumes, but I don't remember that. Aw.
I don't remember that class at all.
You don't remember Linda Johnson?
I mean, I do, but like I don't.
Well, I guess she did have a bigger impact on our life due to the fact that we did go away with her to
True.
England.
Well, we had some
Yeah.
AMC class together. Maybe it wasn't publicity workshop.
Yeah.
But we had one together.
Circling back, yeah.
Yes, we had one together. And Taylor, were we in any AMC classes together?
The one
I
with
don't
Herbert
remember.
Satzman.
Yeah. The
Oh,
one with
yes,
Herbert.
you're right. Yeah. But we, I think, knew each other at that point because we had all been accepted
Yeah.
into the CFM program.
Probably not me yet.
Okay.
No. Well, yeah. I get. Mm.
I think it was spring semester.
Yeah, we found out in spring semester, and that was so maybe we had like known of each other because
Yes,
we
yeah.
were like,
'Cause I
oh,
knew
we all
your
applied.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we knew, JoJo and I knew of each other, and then
Yeah.
Megan and I met. Was our first class
We had a few different classes, none of which we remember each other in. Like,
Yeah.
I'll remember you in one class, but you won't remember me in it. You remember me in a class, but I
Yeah.
don't remember you in it.
But it was that publicity class where it was the semester, it was fall of sophomore year before we were studying abroad
It was the one
together.
that we had with Taylor.
Yeah, and
Because
Taylor was there.
The professor that did the class, did the study abroad, taught the class.
Yeah.
And I remember I turned to you one day and I was like, "Are you gonna do it?" And you're like,
Wait,
"I don't know."
I wonder how we started talking about it because
I remember because I wanted to be your friend. I just wanted to be your friend. Because
really?
you had your phone case turned over. It was the Harry Styles phone case. And
Oh,
I was like,
of course it was that. We
I
started talking about One Direction.
I was like, "Oh, she's cool." Because the other girl who was in the class who was our friend, you were wearing Chelsea boots. And she went, "You're in Harry Styles boots." And you went, "Of course I'm in Harry Styles boots." And I was like, I want to be their friend so bad.
You're like listening to the conversation, right? You're like, fuck. How can I wheeze my way into this?
Because the other girl who you were talking to lived on our floor freshman year, so I already kind of knew her. I wasn't.
Oh, I
wasn't
didn't know
friendly with
that.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you. I had no connection with you. Whereas the other girl, I could be like, "Oh, hey," like
Yeah.
I could talk to her.
Yeah. So then
You were another hill to climb for me.
Tough
Yeah.
nut to crack.
Yeah, you were a tough nut to swallow.
Talk about dem nuts.
Yeah.
Ask me about these nuts. Oh god, that was so funny. I'm roasting. Imagine how sweaty I am right now.
I have taken my blanket off underneath the table.
Good idea.
Okay.
So
Here we got one leg out. I'm fully submerged.
Yeah. So then like Megan and I the following semester as we were like prepping for our study abroad, we had like weekly meetings and like we had exchanged phone numbers at some point and we're kind of like not hanging out like outside of the meetings,
I don't think
but
we ever hung out
but
outside of anything before we got to London.
yeah, but we were like, oh, like want to walk into the meeting together?
'Cause we knew
Like,
we were gonna be roommates from the second we both got in. We were like,
thank God
yeah,
we like
you gonna be
we're,
roommates.
yeah, like we would know someone who's going in the
Yeah.
program, you know, so we would like see each other here and there for those meetings, but still like we weren't really super close yet. And then that summer after sophomore year.
Hello, summer.
Summer. That's really today is hello
Hello,
summer.
summer.
Yeah.
We did a Hello Summer last night.
We did. It was awesome. So, yeah, and then we studied abroad together summer of 2019. And the rest was history.
The rest was history.
Yeah.
No,
And
you
then-
couldn't get rid of me if you tried.
Oh.
I'm not nervous talking to you at all. It's crazy. It's awesome.
Crazy.
That's crazy. You were like nervous. Like, I can't even remember what it felt like to like not be inside your asshole
I
at all
was so
times.
Scared. And then do you remember the one day where we kind of hung out alone, the two of us, where we went and got lunch together? It was when we were in Brighton. The rat tail day.
Oh, the tea place.
Once again, shitting my pants. I was like, I like her so much. What if she doesn't want to be my friend?
Oh, that's so cute.
You thought I was cool.
I was apparently like continually nervous talking to you.
I feel like I
throughout
just
the whole summer of 2019.
like I feel that way with some people where I'm like I really like hanging out with them and I really hope that they like me, but I feel like I never felt pressure with you because it was like we just like hit it
It
off.
was easy.
It was so easy, like we hit it off immediately.
Well, because once again, when
That's
we were
so
having
funny.
the thing, because it was one of the first times we were alone together.
Mhm.
So I was having the thing again. I'm like, how do I get so nervous about keeping conversations going.
Mhm.
So I was like, what do I say next? What am I going to do? How do I just not have like the awkward silence? Whereas
Yeah.
like now, awkward silence, I'm farting. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm also farting. It's funny you mention.
God.
or awkward silences aren't awkward. They're just silence between us. Because
Yeah. No
just, like,
awkward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I think that would bring us to me and JoJo.
I guess it's the three
Yeah.
of you in the CFM program the next year.
So,
But we
it's-
weren't like I didn't have any classes with you. We
Yeah.
weren't friends when we were
So,
in CFM.
I think it starts with Taylor and I first because we had
yeah.
the like intro class together because we sat next to each other.
Yeah.
And my roommate at the time also knew you from a lot of AMC classes.
Mhm.
So we were in adjacent circles. We weren't in like the same ones, but we were in like adjacent ones. So we would talk during class and stuff. Maybe like we would maybe text about an assignment or something. But that was pretty much, it was like one of those things where you see someone every single class.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Friendsgiving.
Oh, yeah.
That we
Oh.
invited you to.
How did we forget?
It's funny
Because
because
your roommate apparently did not pass along the message.
it's funny because I thought at one point that you didn't like me.
Because she wasn't invited to Friendsgiving.
No, not because I wasn't invited to Friendsgiving, but I don't remember why. Maybe you were just in your shower or something. I was like, I don't know if she likes me.
I feel like every friend you have has felt that way with you.
Oh, I have.
Like, Kristen was like, our first year of friendship, I thought you absolutely hated me.
I thought I was so nice.
No, we would talk during class. Maybe it was like when like in the beginning before we started even talking in class. I thought you didn't like me at first. But yeah, apparently they had a Friendsgiving that I was invited to, but the message was never passed along.
We were like, bring a friend, bring your roommate,
Roommates.
bring who, like we.
Because anyone we knew who had a roommate, we were like, oh, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We invited you and your roommate.
Yeah, but it's so funny because like I didn't like go with your roommate at the time, but like I think we left around the same time and like did our little commute back to our dorm together. And it's crazy to think like if you were there and we had like hit it off and like went back to the dorm that night, you know, like what 5 months prior to us becoming like actual friends.
And I think it's just proof that we were all meant to be friends
Yeah.
in a friend
Exactly.
group. And if it wasn't going to happen then, it was going to happen sometime.
Exactly.
But it's crazy to think about maybe how much longer the lore of our friendship could have been had I known I was invited.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then so that was like the beginning of junior year when we were like friendly and had classes with each other. And then I was on the executive board for our club that was like adjacent / attached to our major. And I was moving into like a second executive board because I went from like a club rep to a VP, and we needed someone to run for one of the positions. And Nikki was already in the club, and I don't remember if you had reached out or...
No.
Okay, so myself and the other people who were going to be on the board were like, okay, we need someone else to run. These are the people who have been in the club, have like consistently been showing up. And then we were like discussing who would be like someone who would be easy to get along with, who's come, you know, every time, who's chill, who's cool. And I think we all collectively decided, like, let's approach her and ask if she's interested. And I think you pretty much immediately said yes, but on your side there was probably contemplation.
I was like, ugh, like on the board of a club, like
That's so not cool.
No, it wasn't that. It was like, do I have like the time for this?
Energy.
Like when you're just a member, you can show up whenever you want, and
It's commitment.
Were you still enemies with JoJo at that point? Was that a factor? in it?
oh
didn't
yeah,
know you
no,
were.
I was enemies with you, and but also your roommate.
No, I was enemies with
I actually was enemies with you. But your roommate at the time was also on the board, and like I was like
You were friendly with her.
friendlier with her, so I was like, okay, like I can do this. It's for literally one semester, like, you know, it
Don't have to talk to
matter.
this girl ever again after this semester. It's fine. I can do it.
And yeah, so I ended up doing it, which is so crazy to think about.
It was on my end. I remember it being like almost like instantly that you were like, sure. I think you had said maybe, is there a... I think you said like, well, is anyone else running? Would I be competing against anyone?
Oh
and we
yeah,
went, no.
because if I was competing against anyone, I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah, and we went, not a soul.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, if I'm the only one,
It's a sure thing. Sure, I'll do it. And
Yeah.
everyone will think I won.
exactly, which is awesome.
So we did nepotize you a little.
Yeah, I got nepotized. I remember like going up in front of the club and giving my little like campaign speech, and I was probably just like, I love makeup and I'm so happy to be in the CFM program.
I think you just said like, I think you just said, like, you know, I've been coming here for a few years, like seeing you all. Hopefully I can do something fun.
Yeah.
I think it was, like, literally that.
Yeah.
You might have even had a note card.
I just wanted to have a good time.
You put your time in. It was.
I did.
You clocked in in
yeah.
that moment. You clocked
Yeah.
in.
You clocked in for your side hustle.
And it's funny to think, because we also have, like, another friend
Yes.
who was on that same board, and it's like, I didn't know her before the board, and it's like, she's still one of our really good friends. So it's just, again, like, if I hadn't done that, then, you know, she probably wouldn't really, like, be a part of our circle.
Yeah.
You know?
And her and I were close in the beginning
Mhm.
of that year. So you were avoiding me like the plague. You were probably avoiding her. But I think, so then we move into spring semester and it kicked. Don't give me like that.
I'm sorry.
Our reign kicks off, like, officially.
Mhm.
And we had our, like, little group meetings and stuff, and it was fine. But I think both of our roommates had maybe gone away for a weekend. A weekend in,
February.
it was, like, the end of February?
Yes.
It had to have been before COVID.
Yes, it was before COVID.
It was
before
right
March.
after. It was right after season 1 of Love Is Blind premiered, which
Yes.
was on Valentine's Day.
So, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
So I think we're texting in the group chat. I don't even know if we were texting privately at that point.
I don't
And
think so.
I think maybe we even said, like, oh, should we all meet up? And the other two couldn't. And I think we had just said, like, why, you know, we have a free, like, I have a free Friday or something. And I think at that point you were maybe a little bit more open to hanging out with me because I had been sending so many memes in that group chat.
I was just going to say, and I know that you know that's the reason why you really rubbed me.
Won you over.
Won me over, yeah. Not
Rubbed me the right way.
Rubbed me the right way.
It became a good nut to swallow.
Yes, when we had our group chat for our, like, little club board, like, you know, we were texting. It's, like, not that serious. So we were just, you know, being silly, and, like, Joe and I were, like, sending memes and stuff, and I was like, oh, like, she's got a good sense of humor, like, her memes are really funny, like,
Maybe she's not my enemy.
Maybe she's not my enemy. Maybe we could actually, you know, hang out sometime.
And out of everyone in that group chat,
She's rubbing my leg with her foot.
out of everyone in that group chat, I mean, we know now, but we had figured out that we had the same exact texting pattern, and we had the same exact, like, memes on deck.
Yeah, like,
so I think that's what probably made us more like, oh, you know what? I don't think I've ever hung out with you or, like, really spoken to you one-on-one. So I don't know how we decided, because neither of us drink wine.
you know, that is so funny that you say that, because how did we
decide? I don't know, but it's somehow, the night ended up being, oh, we're going to have a girls' night. It's our first night, like, hang out one-on-one. There's this new show on Netflix.
Oh, I will say, JoJo had just turned 21.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So she could buy alcohol.
Yes, and it was a big thing.
You were using her.
It was your first time buying
It was
it,
my
right?
first time buying
Yes.
alcohol on my own.
Yeah.
So I think we had said, like, let's go to the liquor store, buy FIT, and, like, pick up whatever is, like, cheap or something. And it was probably those barefoot wines now that I'm thinking about it.
And
Those are great.
No, they're great, but, like, we don't drink wine.
And can't forget the Penn Station Dwayne Reed.
That we got the most disgusting frozen food from. And I'm talking everything. Like, frozen pizza.
You got
like
White Castle burgers.
Oh, of course I did.
I got Ben and Jerry's.
Oh,
Of course I did.
I
Ben
got-
and Jerry's. We got a
got Ben
bunch
and
of
Jerry's.
other frozen food that I can't even remember.
I can't even look at you.
All right.
You got frozen White Castle.
Yes.
from Dwayne Reed.
Yes.
The
And we're
Dwayne,
shocked it was bad.
the Dwayne
No,
Reed
I
from
wasn't shocked. I knew it was gonna be bad. I was a college student.
the Dwayne Reed from Penn Station, might I add.
Yeah. No, I mean I was a gross college student. They were like $5. I was like,
I think
Might
they're
as
$5
well.
if you buy them fresh.
I don't know. Well, I got them.
White Castle in general isn't good.
Yeah, but my dad loved it. So
Ooh.
growing,
You ever been at a party and someone brings a Crave case from White Castle?
yeah. My dad loved White Castle growing up. So for me, it was like it was bad fast food, but it was fast food I knew.
It was
That makes
familiar.
sense. It was
Reminded you of
familiar.
home.
I don't even know if I ended up like actually eating it. I made it, but I think we didn't even eat half the food that.
And I had maybe like, because we drank so much wine.
Okay, so we got red and white wine.
We
No,
did.
why wouldn't you stick to one?
Because we
don't drink wine. We didn't know, like we didn't
know
understand.
anything. And we got the big bottles.
We got the big bottles. We were like, we're gonna fucking house these tonight. Like,
Turn on Love Is, and we were like, have you heard of the show?
yeah,
Like,
we both had wanted to watch the show. We were like, let's make it a whole girls thing. Like, blah blah. We're gonna
got
have
like
so much
candy,
fun.
popcorn. We start watching it, and at this point, it was when Netflix had like the whole seasons out,
Mm-hmm.
and we were sitting on my wooden chairs.
I was literally just gonna say, like,
It
the
was
way we were
so
like
uncomfortable.
hanging out, literally just sitting at a tiny kitchen table like this, like Isn't that-
kitchenette?
Yes,
Isn't that
no,
crazy?
It was the wooden kitchenette.
that
So
like we just didn't have
my
a
back
couch.
was killing me.
You didn't sit on a bed?
No,
It was our first time hanging out.
yeah, it was our first time hanging out. And
We would
also,
do like picnics on the floor sometimes.
I don't know.
That's worse.
Yeah.
My ass is pumping if I'm sitting on the floor.
So like we watch it, we have a lot of fun. I think we drank the red first because that was sweeter.
Yeah.
And then we finished it.
Yeah.
And it was in like a really short amount of time too.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, white's next. I don't even think I had ever had white wine up
It-
until that point.
like, I just can't express to you guys enough how much Joe and I do not drink wine.
yeah.
So it's giving like the first time you guys hung out of just like, why do you do the shit that you do when you're meeting
And
someone
it was
for
so
the first
out of
time?
character
Yeah.
for us too.
Because I was probably like, oh my god, like let's get drunk.
Yeah, because
like,
I could buy it. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
So we then get into the white wine. Nikki's face immediately just like puckers. She's like, I don't like it. I hate it. And I was like, I bought it, so I'm gonna drink it.
and proceeded to drink the
And
entire
then the whole
bottle.
I was again soaking wet, maybe 90 pounds at the time. I don't even remember like how the night ended. We at some point just like
Throw in the white towel. I
No,
was like, Joe, I gotta go home.
at some point it ended. You left. I immediately threw up. The second you got out my door, I was like, bye. Threw up.
Yeah.
Lay down shower time.
No, but I should have. And that was the
Yeah.
first time I threw up from wine. It was also the last time.
I
I love a
that's
good
not
wine.
for this episode, but Joe was involved in the time that I threw wine up for the first time,
And that was a virtual one.
and it was literally like even more pathetic because it was during COVID. Like we weren't even like together. We were literally on FaceTime.
But
so
yeah, so the rest was kind of history after that. Like after that, we just kept talking.
yeah, we just like it was literally just one of those things where it's like you start talking, you just never stop, and like
Yeah.
it sucked because we had literally got sent home for COVID like 2 weeks later.
We had actually said that night and the day after, because we went to Sephora together the next day. Because
We
we were getting ready
did.
for a date, and you were like, "Do you want to come to Sephora with me?"
Because you two
And-
had made a pact to start living like the Sex and the City characters. Because Nikki told me that.
Oh my
when we went to
God.
the escape room.
You're
Joe hadn't
right.
watched it
No,
yet.
but you told me I needed to watch it, and then I started immediately when COVID happened.
The escape room was even after this.
So
yes.
Yeah, you were
basically,
like, I hung out with JoJo and Meghan.
And
you
she
have to watch
doesn't
Sex and the
suck.
City. And you have to watch Sex in the City because me and JoJo, we decided like we have to live like the characters in Sex in
So,
the City.
yes, we decided that, and I knew enough about Sex and the City to know what you were talking
Mhm.
about. And then we said, you know what? We need to do this like a girls' night minimum once a month. And then 2
Mhm.
weeks later, the world shut down.
Literally. And I was like, oh, I just made this like great friend, and
Yeah.
we had all these plans, and I know that sounds stupid because a lot of people had a lot of other horrible things happen at that time, but I was like so excited about having a new friend, and yeah, but
Now we're roommates.
but we literally just never
And
stopped
they were
talking.
roommates.
And they were Oh my God, they were roommates.
Yeah.
So
Which brings us to
Then
then.
I guess that brings us to the four of us.
Yeah.
After a reeling 5-hour lunch, we were like, should we get a drink? We were like, yeah. So then I texted you and I texted our other friends and I was like, oh, we're meeting at the White Horse and Fight Out. You texted
Mhm.
JoJo. And then we all just kind of met. So then we had the reunification process.
Yeah. We had
And
a
that
great
night
time that
ended
night.
up being like a good
really
night.
night.
We were at the White Horse.
It was
And
really
then we
fun.
ended up at Judy Z's.
We introduced
That
you
was the night
guys.
Oh my
my
god.
So at the White Horse, we introduced you guys to the bouncer. So now the
That was the
bouncer.
night you introduced us to the White Horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
But now the bouncer also knows Meghan and Taylor, so none of us get ID'd whenever we walk in there because they know us. We're regulars. We're locals. And so then Meghan and Taylor brought us to their local bar.
Mhm.
It was past...
Which I thought was a chicken shop. Not gonna lie.
Which was crazy too, because we had never been to Judy Z's. Why did we go?
No,
to
we
Judy
tried
Z's?
to, because we tried to go to the Village Tavern.
Yeah.
And it was
Oh.
packed.
There was a line around the block, and it was cold that night.
Yeah, it was
And,
I'm
packed.
not waiting in line.
Me and Meghan were sitting at the table, and we're like really drunk at this point, and we were starving. And they were like, sorry guys, kitchen's closed. It was probably like 11:30. We're like, oh, perfect. There's a Taco Bell. Will you let me
I
go
think
get
it was like
Taco
1
Bell?
a.m.
Oh,
It
wait.
was
I think
late.
was even later.
Well, I was obviously drunker than I remember. And we asked the waitress if we get food from somewhere else, could we eat it here? And she was like, fine, whatever. You
She was
guys
like,
have already paid for your
I don't know.
drinks. Yeah.
Sure.
I like that is.
She could not have cared less.
I will say, side note, that is like one of the best things about like bars like that
Yeah.
are, you know, they're like not huge, they're like kind of small, and there's not a ton of staff. Like bringing in outside food to a bar
Yeah.
is just one of, like, it just feels so good.
So, we go to Taco Bell.
This is the infamous story where JoJo falls down
All
outside
right.
of the Taco Bell.
Get
JoJo
our-
takes a
which
tumble.
we discussed.
Megan had to pick her up like a soldier.
So we get into the Taco Bell, get our stuff, and we're walking back. We are quite literally across the street.
I can't
From
believe
this
we didn't
bar.
see this from the window.
Yeah, you should have.
Imagine.
Can
I
you
would
I
have
imagine?
like
peed my
tripped
pants.
over myself. I was wearing these boots that like I don't know what happened.
Those
with the
boots were
sole.
not made for walking.
And I tripped over myself, landed on both my knees in the middle of the street. Green light. And Meghan looks at me and goes, JoJo!
JoJo.
George Horde.
Took one arm and picked me up.
Taco Bell in one hand, JoJo in the other.
I threw her over my shoulder.
And then we went back to the bar and I ate Taco Bell.
I remember it was so funny because you were like, I never used to trip in these shoes, but all of a sudden I keep tripping.
And every single time I've worn them after that, I would trip. And it was so weird. Something
You were so
happened.
nervous around me.
I was so nervous around
But yeah, I really should have worn my merch from the White Horse. That would have been fitting for this
I
episode.
need to get merch.
We all need to get it
You
because I
do.
don't have.
I
White
have
Horse
the
merch.
pukiest shit green colored shirt from the White Horse. It is so soft. It is so comfortable, but it is like,
A go?
it is probably like, you know, when they're getting like a quote for, you know, their merch and how many they want, it's probably like way more expensive to get nice black shirts or even like gray, navy. Shit green's probably the cheapest one.
No one's buying them.
I'm
They gotta
sure-
ship 'em out.
I'm sure that's why they bought the shit green color, but
Probably.
yeah. So that night, the White Horse, was that the night that we?
That night brings us to today, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that a different night when we went ahead and played Hamilton?
No, that was the same night.
That was
Same
that.
night.
Yeah.
A lot happened in that night. We might have even.
We have a bunch of dispos from that night.
Yeah.
We do.
I don't even remember when. We might have even brought up not like this podcast, but being like, wouldn't that be fun? Like,
Maybe.
I think we did, but not like, oh, we need to do that now. Even though a month later we'd have.
Because since
one.
November, me and Nikki, I don't know what ignited in us.
But we were just like, we had been saying it for like a couple months, and there have been like times where we said something and we were like, oh my god, that's a good podcast name, or like,
Yeah.
you know, like we would have so much fun because like Megan and I didn't live together, and we were like, I had you and our like other friends, and you have like a separate friend group, so we were really close friends, but we also didn't see each other consistently because of like our separate friend groups.
Which is crazy because we live so close.
Yeah. So
At that point, we were seeing each other maybe once every 2 months.
yeah,
once a month if we were lucky. If we
we'd
could figure
hang out
the-
for like 8 hours
Which
straight.
is crazy because I'm like, when we could find a time, We see each other every week now. What were we doing
What,
before?
like, what was I doing? But yeah, so we would hang out for like 8 hours and be like, oh my God, like we have so much like funny shit to say, like when we're together. And then we really got on a kick of like, let's do a podcast. And then
I think the podcast was really born karaoke night, though.
It was,
the day
'cause
of SantaCon.
I also randomly said to Nikki
War
one night, I was
flashbacks.
like,
that's when we made our group chat.
yes. But
Oh my
that night
God.
really solidified our friendship as the friend group.
the friend group. But then I was also thinking that like the kickstart of the pod was kind of New Year's Eve.
It was New
Yeah.
Year's Eve.
So
That's when we got into action, and we were
Yeah.
like so drunk.
Like, this is
Manifesting.
happening.
It's
Because
happening.
I think we had talked about it separately. I randomly said to Nikki one night, like, I think a podcast would be fun, and you were like,
Megan and I talk about it every
you were
single
like,
day.
You were like, it's crazy that you say that because me and Megan have been wanting to do that. And then New Year's Eve, we had planned to hang out. We went to a disco, and we just like came back, and we were like, let's do it. It's a new year.
We filmed content.
No, I
filmed
remembered.
content.
I remember us planning. We were like, let's take the cover photo when we
New
get
Year's Eve.
back, like
Yeah.
from the disco.
New Year's Day.
New-
So on New Year's Eve, we were planning for New Year's Day.
for New Year.
New
Yeah.
Year's Eve before we left, we took the photo because we
Yeah.
knew that we wouldn't be able to take it when we got back.
Oh, but we
Yeah.
do have
Recording-
footage.
We're like, oh, let's record an intro.
We
now.
have
Yeah.
footage. Oh God.
our
Yeah.
original intro.
Which is in our
That-
trailer.
It is
Yeah.
in our trailer.
It's in
Oof.
the trailer.
So
Yeah,
if you're
big
interested
oof.
to see that, go watch our trailer.
Yeah, but New Year's Eve was like we were ideating everything, and from like January 1st to February 8th, 5 weeks, we grinded.
And so much went wrong too in the beginning. Like we bought the wrong mics. We all had robot voices for like the first like 10 times we tried recording. It was like week after week of girls who are not in STEM
Yeah.
just figuring
Yeah.
stuff out on our own, like the blind leading the blind. And now
Literally.
we're on episode 10.
That's
It's crazy.
insane.
Amazing we are here because we all wanted to quit recording episode 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cannot
literally.
express enough how much this podcast almost did not happen after episode 1.
And
And-
if you're watching episode 1,
You understand why.
I was
I
gonna
was
say.
gonna say that was not episode 1.
Yeah, it was episode 0.
that was like pilot.
And if you have
No,
watched,
but we filmed another one before that. Well, like a tester one.
But even that,
And
even
that
our
one
episode
sucked.
1 that came
What?
out.
Well, that was when we recorded the teaser.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we were planning on
That was a
recording the
teaser.
podcast that day, but the mics were so bad. We're like, let's just get a teaser out of the way.
oh, you're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
But if you have watched episode 1 and stuck with us,
Thank you.
because we, this is like the definition of a passion project for all of us. And it's really cool to see like some people interacting, like, people that we don't know interacting on our TikTok and on our Instagram, commenting on our YouTube.
And just seeing our subscribers go up. We're almost
Yeah.
at 100 subscribers, which I know in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of it all is so small.
That's
But
100
so
people.
Cool.
But
That
think of-
100 people want to continue seeing what we're doing.
Like,
you
think
know?
about 100 people in a room. Like, when
That's
you
a bar.
say-
there could be 100 people in a room. You know that Lady Gaga?
There could be 100 people in a room telling you no, but one person just needs to tell you yes.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are that one person.
You guys are
telling
that
us
one
yes.
person in 100 separate rooms.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just been really cool. And we actually do have, we were so happy to celebrate episode 10 with our cozy sleepover episode that has now just turned into us
Yeah.
wearing normal clothes
Yeah.
because it's
I'm
hot.
in my PJs.
But
These nuts.
Got him.
But we do have something really fun planned for next episode. We've reached episode 10. It's time to move on to some bigger, better things.
So fuck this episode, because next episode
It gonna be
really good.
crazy.
Yeah.
This
it's gonna
one
be
was
really
kind of
good.
getting your lore. Next week,
We're going to do a
collab.
collab. And,
we're collabing with Just One Fern.
Yeah.
Aaron and Lucas, who we have met prior, and we've been texting, and they're very funny, awesome, and cool. So we're
Vetted.
very excited.
Vetted. We had
as
to
funny.
make sure
Yeah. Make sure they
Um,
weren't murderers.
they weren't
Yeah.
little freaks. And
And like we think that
They're great.
We were the little freaks.
yeah. If you guys think that we're funny, we know that you would think that Aaron and Lucas are really funny, and we're so excited to have them on the pod.
I think they're just one fern on everything, all of their handles.
Yeah.
So
We can leave it down below.
we'll
if
leave
we
it down
can.
below. Go follow them on everything. Give them some love. Again, like if you think we're even like remotely funny, we have the same shared humor, and you'll definitely enjoy their podcast.
And if you like music, they make some pretty cool songs.
Yeah.
Super talented, super funny. They have a lot of really fun music content as well.
Yeah.
So join us next week while we do
A whole lot of talking about a whole lot of nothing
with Aaron and Lucas.
Woo woo. So while we have a few minutes left, we're going to rapid fire some questions we got because we did post on our Instagram story.
So if you're not following us, go follow us. Links will be down below
So,
in the notes.
We'll start doing this every once in a while, just saying ask it. I just posted ask us stuff, and we got
Some questiones.
Yeah.
a few. So
Yeah.
just awesome and cool. So
All right.
keep asking questions.
Rapid fire.
So first question was, when's a part 2 to the FIT episode coming? Which we actually get kind of asked a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, probably
Question mark? Soon?
sooner rather than later, definitely.
I'd say within the next 3 or 4 episodes, definitely we'll
Yeah.
figure
For
out
sure.
a time
But
to drop part 2
also,
FIT.
yeah, if you have any questions for that episode, let us know.
Send it to our email
Yeah.
or DM.
Always said that podstories@gmail.com as per usual.
Or if you went to FIT, tell us a
yeah.
story
Oh, yeah.
And you
that
have,
you have
yeah.
because that would be really fun.
Always said that podstories@gmail.com. Thank you.
Yes.
Question number 2. Who'd you say is a current tier 1 on your crush list? So for those who don't know, obviously a tier list is like a triangle. So then there's 3 tiers. 3 is like the least, amount you could feel for this crush. There's tier 2, who's like, you like them. And then there's tier 3, who's like,
Tier 1.
Tier 1.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Then there's tier 1, who is like, you're going to die if you don't end up with this person.
I
For those
will go
at
ahead
home
and
who
say
don't know.
that Megan and I have added an honorary tier that is called the too painful tier. And
Can't even think about them.
can't love them so much that you are disgusted with them.
I'll go first. I'm back in my Julian Casablancas era. Lead singer
Your
of the
Harry
Strokes.
Styles.
He's my Harry Styles. I am so disgusted by this man.
He's your
because-
Alex Earl. Did I say that right?
You
Yeah.
did it right.
There you go. I'm so disgusted by him because he is so cute and funny, and it's like specifically
Who is this? Sorry.
the lead singer of the Strokes.
We literally talked about this today in the group chat.
Multiple
I told you about
times.
him, and you said, "Who is
And
it?"
you were
And
like,
I,
don't be mad at me. I'm not going to know who that is.
No, you just said the Strokes.
yeah, and then
He's the
I
lead.
sent the music video for last night.
Yeah,
And
but
then
I
you
didn't
said,
know who any of their
Don't be
names
mad
are.
at me.
The lead
I'm not
singer.
going to know who that is. And I said, I'm not surprised you didn't know who the 1975 was. And then she said, what's his name? Julian? You said,
Julian.
Julian's my Harry Styles.
I mean, honestly, like permanent tier 1 for me is Timothée Chalamet. That
Ooh.
is without question. Don't ever want anyone to second guess that about me. But I will say, I do think I'm still tier 1ing for Warren from Daisy Jones.
He's, you know what? Honestly,
As you
he's,
should.
he's also a
Yeah.
tier 1 for me. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, it's painful. It's not too painful, but it's painful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have been loving him still. So
I feel like mine change a lot. Like, if you asked me this 2 weeks ago, it would have been Paul Walker. R.I.P.
Slay as always.
Paul Walker in the Fast and Furious 1 specifically.
And the one in real life.
And then, but like right now it's Jordan Mailata. From
Would you like to explain to the class?
And who is that?
He is on the Philadelphia Eagles, but he sings so well.
Oh, does he have the lips of an angel?
Oh, he does.
He's the
Would you
voice
like
of
to
an
give him
angel.
1,000 kisses?
I would.
Yeah, my current tier 1. So the other day, we're actually going to one night only for the Jonas Brothers in August at Yankee
Yes.
Stadium. So that reignited my Jonas Brothers,
Yeah.
tiering. So right now I'm currently tiering for like my top ones, Joe Jonas.
Oh, yeah.
Him singing Jealous.
I am gonna insert the clip of him going on his knees singing that song. I also will say that was one of our like topics for this episode, but we did get carried away. Just know we are singing the Jonas Brothers, and we're making
that could
it
be a whole
everyone's.
episode in itself.
We're gonna have to do a debrief once we see them too.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we are making it everyone's issue. We are very excited.
Another question. We can just rapid fire through this one. Thoughts on the Taylor Swift Joel Alwyn breakup?
Devastating.
I am staying single in solidarity with my queen.
But
Yeah.
what if
Did
it's
not have a
not
boyfriend
real?
to begin with. It is. That's
How
what
do we
PR
know?
works.
Well, if it's not real, then I'll still be devastated that it was even, like, a thought in someone's head to make a rumor up like that.
Because Taylor Swift wouldn't let a story like that run. Because you know how 2 weeks prior they were like, oh, why is Joel not at the Eras tour? And it was like, oh, he's going to come when he's available. And everyone's like, he doesn't have a job. What do you mean? That was Taylor's team put that out. So this way no one would say anything about the breakup before they were ready to announce the breakup. And they also did it purposely on a holiday weekend. So this way it would get buried underneath Easter, essentially.
It's also very intentional when you do and don't comment on things as a celebrity.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Very
she never
intentional.
comments on anything because she's Taylor Swift. She's not releasing a notes app saying, we broke up.
She's gonna throw in some secret coded in
Something in the next.
And I think she already
story.
did because she was
Yeah.
seen leaving
Well-
a restaurant in New York with a butterfly on her jeans.
Yeah, but
and in the behind the scenes for You Need to Come Down, she said a butterfly is representative of a new era.
Oh, you're
leaving behind the
right.
darkness.
but also Daylight. But also
Daylight.
she was
Not that
singing
song.
she was singing Invisible String, which switched
Changed it
to
to
the
the
one.
I'm just gonna say.
So it is really sad,
I really
honestly.
hope that
I
did
know
solidify illicit affairs though,
Yeah.
on the set list.
True. I know really nothing about this man except the William Bowery of it all, but I mean, the music that woman was writing about this man is unparalleled. So it is sad to know that what once was is no longer is.
Nevertheless, I hope she's happy.
Yeah, hope she's happy.
All I want at the end of the day.
Have fun with her, Ryan.
And then the final question we got was, how do you create like a work-life balance? And I'd say just have a good group of people in your corner. So this way, when the tough days get tough, you have someone to fall back on.
Aw.
Yeah.
I don't.
I was gonna say you
Have-
don't.
I don't.
You don't, but that's what I'm saying. When,
Yeah.
You know, the days get tough. This way
Yeah.
you could be in your group chat and be like, guys, today fucking sucked. And
Yeah.
everyone could be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
same.
vent.
let's get into it.
I vent all the time. You know, don't be afraid to vent.
Yeah.
Your friends will love you.
It's-
They're there to
yeah.
have you vent.
Have a
Yeah.
good support system because at the end of the day, you usually can't control the workload that's given to you in your job unless you're your own boss, which even then it's out of your control, really.
Mm-hmm.
Try to prioritize your health as
Yeah.
much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, make sure you have a good support system that makes you feel seen and heard and validated and will actually let you speak about what's frustrating you.
Have a nice fat drink at the end of the day.
Might I also suggest nothing is real and nothing matters.
Yeah.
So I think we could end on that.
Yeah.
So that was the 8 o'clock news. Thank you for joining us today.
Mm-hmm.
Catch us next week for a really fun collab.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
See ya. Mwah.